Am I the idiot for blocking my crush after she had sex with another dude and sent me the video? A little over half a year ago I, 25, male, met P, 23, female, on a dating app. I knew P was sexually promiscuous because before we met she drunk sent me a snap of her having sex with one of her friends G, 28, male, because she likes being watched. I thought it was weird but I didn't have romantic feelings for her at the time so I just said LOL thanks, and just kept talking to her like normal. Eventually we started hanging out, and at first I just wanted to get laid but she turned out to be a really cool friend and we had good chemistry so after about 3 months I told her I wanted to pursue her romantically and asked her to think about it. She agrees and we start holding hands everywhere, kissing, going on dates, cuddling overnight but we're not having sex because she said she really likes me and doesn't want what we have to get sexual too fast. I saw that as a green flag thinking she doesn't see sex as casually as I originally thought so I happily agreed and kind of just assumed we were officially dating because we have been doing everything regular couples do for about 4 months. Last week she told me she's going on another trip with her friend group and her friend that she had sent me a sex tape with, G, is gonna be there. I wasn't worried because she has stated multiple times that she doesn't see him romantically, and was just having sex with him, and I'm not that type of dude that makes their GFX communicate every dude they've had sex with. Well, 3 days into the trip I got sent a vid of her having sex with G, again. I was pretty hurt by it NGL so I blocked her, and decided to take the L and keep it pushing. It's not my first time getting cheated on. The next night I get a text from P on a different number asking why I blocked her on everything and I tell her because we were in a relationship, and she sent me a video of her having sex with another dude. She told me she didn't mean to send that to me this time and even if she did it doesn't matter because we were just talking, and not in a relationship. I told her I'd see what we are. I feel like an idiot for pursuing a romantic relationship, and doing a couple things with her while she has sex with other people and I don't want to see her again. She called me an idiot saying we were really good friends and I'm an idiot for excommunicating her for having sex with other people when we weren't officially in a relationship. I feel like this logic doesn't make sense at all based on the context so am I the idiot? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. When I heard. Before we met she drunk sent me a snap of her having sex with one of her friends. I knew something was wrong. Not the idiot. But she let you know from the very beginning that she was mental. You then chose to proceed. Comment 2. Not the idiot. But it's worth saying, I love sluts, I think they are the best type of women. I married one. I love a woman who has the same attitude towards sex as me, another slut. It's not to everyone, I get it, and it seems to be not for you. But this, my friend, is a slut. She told you, showed you, explained it to you. It's like the whole scorpion and the frog thing, yeah? Comment 3. Not the idiot. But a bit naive I'd say. This chick has red flags all over the place. And even putting that aside, speaking clearly about expectations and whatnot is key to success in any relationship really. You can't just assume you're in a relationship cause you guys act like a couple. Like I get this is kind of a norm cause I've met plenty of people that think, oh we hold hands and kiss in public so I guess we're together. But this line of thinking is just immature. Ick how short you are. But my BF is like 5'8" tops and we've been happily together 9 years now. We met the old-fashioned way, in a bar. Casually saw each other for about 6 months, then discussed our desires for our relationship and that's the moment we became a couple. Just stop making assumptions and carrying experiences from failed relationships/dates to the next person. It's not fair to the new person and you're setting yourself up for failure. Now for the update. I think the majority of the comments were no idiots here but after reading all of the comments, and reflecting on them I'm going to go with the idiot especially for the comments I left in the thread. In my comments I let statistics and data reaffirm my own personal insecurities which led to me indirectly discounting women who date short men as second choices by assuming those men have to settle on them because they are short, which was rude and uncalled for. I also discounted all women and family in general by implying that I can replicate and replace real human relationships with current or future technology which may be true for some people but that doesn't mean it is the right thing to do or appropriate to say. I also think I, 25, male, am the idiot when it comes to the situation with P, 23, female, as well. 5 to 10 years ago I used to be the kind of guy that would automatically dismiss women as relationship potential for any amount of sexual promiscuity. As I've grown older I assumed that my growing acceptance of sexual promiscuity was a sign of maturity for me which is why I stopped caring about things like body count, fetishes, doing OnlyFans etc. This was a mistake seeing that I'm accepting of sexual promiscuity before the relationship but not during which means I'm not truly accepting of it and shouldn't pretend I am despite my efforts to combat that over the years. With P I didn't really care about her sex life before I started developing feelings for her which was why I foolishly ignored a red flag and didn't see a big deal with her, while under the influence of alcohol, sending me a video of her having sex with another dude before I gave my consent. During our relationship, I incorrectly assumed that because of the intimate acts we were performing, our chemistry, and saying she didn't want to rush into sex because she really liked me, that her sexual habits were changing because of our relationship and that she saw us as an actual couple. I also incorrectly assumed that if we're an actual couple, I wouldn't have to set clear boundaries like us remaining exclusive to each other, which is another mistake given the current age. All of these assumptions could have been avoided with a conversation that I should have initiated on my end, which I believe makes me the idiot. I didn't want to seem like a simple person, so the part 1 left out in the post was the money aspect. I do well financially, and while I may not have necessarily been taken advantage of, I probably should have added that as additional context. I was taking her on admittedly extravagant dates and gifts as the relationship progressed. All this being said, I unblocked and called P this morning, telling her that if this is truly a miscommunication issue, I really am sorry. I think my decision to cease contact and no longer date will remain, though not necessarily because I still harbor resentment toward my previous relationships, but because I really think I just don't want to interact with people anymore. After some self-reflection, I realized that over the years I have been molding my career, financial goals, and hobbies to limit interaction with people as much as I can, while contradictorily continuing to invest a lot of time and energy in pursuing women, which doesn't really make sense. I think I'd be healthier if I just stopped altogether. Whether we die with someone or not, we still die, and after some self-reflection, I don't really think there's anything wrong with either outcome anymore. Again, for everyone affected, I really do apologize for being an idiot. Comment 1. I'm voting not the idiot. It honestly seems like she liked the attention you gave her and wasn't interested in you sexually, and turned it back on you when you reacted appropriately to her sending you unwanted porn videos of her with someone else. Should you have asked to be exclusive or been more clear on being romantically interested in her? Sure, but you're not at fault. She's a fuckgirl who liked the attention from you and sex from other people who probably didn't treat her like you did. I don't think you should give up on dating, but stay away from red flags like her. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Major red flags here. Your reaction to the video was extreme, and you're making assumptions without proper communication. You can't expect exclusivity if you haven't clearly defined the relationship. Also, your comments about women and relationships are toxic and dismissive. Don't generalize and label women based on their sexual history. Learn from this experience and work on your communication skills and understanding of healthy relationships. Blocking her without a proper conversation was immature. It's essential to express your feelings and set boundaries rather than resorting to extreme actions. Consider seeking therapy to address your insecurities and learn how to have healthier relationships. And don't give up on dating. Instead, focus on personal growth and self-improvement. Comment 3. Not the idiot, but it's concerning that you're writing off all relationships over what seems like either not setting boundaries or miscommunication. You don't need to be in a relationship, I agree. Some of the clarifying comments you made, though, feel borderline in self-forchan. You're in your early 20s. Dating has a learning curve. I would just suggest making female friends with the goal of learning. I had a great group of guy friends in college that I still talk to 20 years later. I also learned that their dating habits and girl choices were not for me. In watching them, I came up with my own list of requirements/boundaries for partners. I learned red flag behavior too. If you prefer to live a solitary life without male or female friends, that's totally fine too. I just don't think it's a coincidence that you came to the conclusion after whatever happened with this girl. It seems like you might be trying to protect yourself from being hurt. And isolating is detrimental if it's really not how you want to live. Source: I avoided all physical touch for several years. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for not wanting to celebrate my brother's recovery because he was driving while drunk? Hi, female 19, have a brother, male 21, who has been spoiled rotten. He gets away with anything. He doesn't listen or take orders from anybody, and my parents don't seem to care about his attitude. There's been many fights about this. My brother was driving under the influence and crashed into 2 cars on the highway. He was in the hospital for a good while, don't remember exactly how long. Everyone was worried about his condition, and each day has just been non-stop worrying about whether he was going to be okay. There's been a couple fights because my parents said the incident didn't matter too much as long as the people involved in the crash didn't die. I could not believe it. Well, he was able to recover, and my parents wanted to throw a party to celebrate his recovery. I was happy he was okay, but I have no sympathy for drunk drivers. My childhood friend died from a drunk driving accident, and I had to go into therapy. I had a problem with this because it felt like they didn't care that 2 people got hit. I voiced this opinion and I got crucified, basically. My parents said I was a bad sister for not being happy for my brother. I said I was happy, but it's like they didn't even care, and the reason he's allowed to get away with poop like this is because they keep filling his thick head with delusions. I'll admit, I got a tiny bit emotional because I remembered my friend's death, so I just went to my room and slammed the door. My dad came banging on my door yelling, "I hope you're freaking happy." I deeply regret even saying anything now, but am I wrong for thinking it's weird and disrespectful that they don't even care about this situation just because nobody died and not wanting to celebrate my brother? Edit. By recovery, I mean in terms of injuries. Second edit. As far as I know, my brother's been charged. I'm currently on the way to my boyfriend's house now because I can't stand my family. Now for a few comments before the update. Absolutely not the idiot. I am disgusted with your parents especially, since they have to have known about the circumstances of your friend's death, and they should understand why you feel the way you do about this. Comment 2. Not the idiot. But I would have attended and gave him a toast to my brother, the drunk, who nearly killed 2 people and himself. Comment 3. Not the idiot. I am suffering, and have been every single day since a drunk driver hit me in 2000. My son was 2. There is so much I couldn't do with him growing up, or my daughter, now 14. I have migraines so very often, and herniated discs all up and down my spine. I am disabled at this point partly because of my back and neck issues. All because some dude thought he could drive after having a few at the local bar. My life is pain. I have zero patience for people who think it's okay to drink and drive, and less for the people who enable them. Your brother needs to take accountability for his actions now that he's out of the hospital. Your parents should encourage him to be accountable, and not enable his bad behavior. Now for the update. I just wanted to write this update because lots happened overnight. My boyfriend's family is allowing me to stay with them for a while because my family is absolutely unhinged. My dad decided to show up to my boyfriend's house and cause a scene. I guess my little tantrum worked because he announced that they're not having the party anymore. He also said my brother hates me now. I don't really care. He has also been charged for those who don't know. An argument started and it was basically like the argument that took place before. He kept saying I wasn't happy for my brother and I said for the millionth time, I was happy that he came out fine in the end, but celebrating it and enabling his behavior isn't okay. It was absolutely embarrassing because this was at my boyfriend's house in front of his entire family, and they were trying to calm us down. As you guys know, I wrote it in my post, my best friend since we were toddlers passed away at the hands of a drunk driver a day after she turned 19. That freaked me up so bad to the point where I had to go to therapy for some time, and considering that next month will be a year since her passing, this entire situation has hurt me. When I brought this up to my dad, he said, "I'm sorry about that, but if it's almost a year, you should be over it by now." I just told him I'll go back to get my things and leave because they obviously didn't care about how I felt. I'm back at my boyfriend's house now and they have been comforting me. Nothing hurt me more than my dad telling me to just get over my friend's death because I've known her for my whole life. Anyway, this is just how things are so far. I blocked my parents and brother on everything. Now that I've calmed down a bit and I have tons of support, I feel a little relieved. June 18th would have been her 20th birthday and June 19th will be a year since some heartless monster took her life away, so I'm making both days all about her even though she's not physically here with me. Thanks everyone for the amazing replies. Couldn't reply SMH. I sympathize with everyone who has lost a loved one / gotten injured because of idiots who think it's acceptable to drink and drive. I love all of you and I know my friend is rooting for me from above. Comment 1. Less than a year and you should be over it? Are you freaking serious? I'm never going to not be upset about his passing when I think about my brother. And I'm deep in my 40s, he passed 2 years ago. And I know a lot of people who have lost someone as close as you were to your friend. Some of them lost that someone decades ago, and it still hurts when they think of them. You will move on from it, but it's probably always going to hurt. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's completely normal. I'm sorry about your family. It's seriously freaked up when people, especially parents, enable addiction instead of intervening to help. And to have the gall to come to your boyfriend's house to yell at you is kind of unhinged. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Honestly, your brother made a mistake and you're acting like he committed the worst crime imaginable. People mess up, but that's life. Your parents want to celebrate his recovery, and you should be supporting that. Everyone has moved on from the accident, and you should too. Sure, drunk driving is bad, but people deserve second chances and to be forgiven. You're overreacting by refusing to celebrate his recovery and causing drama with your family. It sounds like you're making this all about you and your feelings, rather than thinking about what's best for the family as a whole. Maybe you need to grow up and realize that the world doesn't revolve around you. You should be happy your brother is alive and support him instead of acting like this. Grow up, move on, and support your family. Comment 3. I'm so sorry your family is acting this way. Soak up the love from your boyfriend's family. Everyone grieves differently. I've lost many people in my life, some losses have taken years. You take all the time you need to heal. Just as long as you're not dwelling on it, you're fine. I'm so glad you have your boyfriend and his family to support you. I'm thankful your brother is being charged. Hopefully he will have consequences and maybe learn from them. Then the original poster responded with, I'm glad too. Sometimes I feel like I'm just a burden on my boyfriend's family, but they don't care and have been treating me like the family I deserve to have. Each day still feels painful, but my friend wouldn't want me to cry every day knowing she's at peace. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.